Stand by, folks. We're having some technical difficulties at the moment. We will be with you very shortly. Good evening, Stathis, and welcome everybody to Autodromo Monza. It is going to be a crazy race here in the F2 division. We'll take a look at what's going on with our race info here, as practice has just got a couple laps to go. This is the Season 2 start of the Season 2. It's round number 1 here at Monza.
It's an exciting league, the iFormula Championship, and I think we need to explain some things about the series and about the championship and the esports organization in general. In Season 2 we run 2 different series, as we can see the first images from the racetrack. The Formula 2 Championship consists of the Renault 3.5 chassis and the F3 Championship, which runs on Sundays. Tomorrow we'll have another race. The car is the Dallara F3, the actual Formula 3 car. We are about in something over 2 minutes before the free practice ends, and we will be straight onto qualifying, which will be 25 minutes, and then we will have the race of 30 what laps? I didn't see exactly.
I believe it was 35 laps is 35 the actual race distance today here at the Monza circuit. With just under 2 minutes left to go, you can see the top of the grid being led by the number 99 machine of Chris Byram with a lap time of 1:35.955, and in second place is his CUDA teammate, the number 46 of Lewis Archer, coming in with a 1:35.992. Now this is just free practice. When this practice session is over, we will go into a 30-minute qualifying session where these teams will try to put their cars as close to the front of the grid as they can get them.
We should inform our viewers that they can follow us on social media. Search iFormula League on Facebook and also on Instagram. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more racing videos coming to you from iFormula League, brought to you by Buttkicker. So, Rob, I think we are expecting a very intense race. Season 1, Lewis Archer won the championship in the F3 car, and it was a hectic season. It was a huge battle with Chris Byram. They share the first 2 places now on the free practice. But what are you expecting from the opening from the opening race of the season?
Honestly, it's really hard to say. We've got a brand new series. A lot of these drivers haven't even gone through the practice races. We had a few practice races at the beginning of the season, and they didn't contain too many of the cars. Everybody, be it on vacation or whatever they got going on, just didn't actually have time to practice. As you see, free practice is coming to an end and qualifying is about to start. So it ought to be very interesting. From what we've heard, it's going to be very close. Everybody says that the F2 cars here are very close in practice. So the only way to tell is right now as we get going under qualifying.
We see now the number 41 of Jacob Potts, who is now down the Curva Grande, famous corner with full throttle application before he presses the brakes very, very hard for the Roggia chicane, the second chicane. The first one is the Retefilio chicane, and then are the 2 most very famous corners in the world of motorsport. In every form of motorsport, these corners are very, very challenging because the cars must run on low downforce trim. Low downforce setup is key for the success. At Monza, it's not called the Temple of Speed for no reason at all. It's now Jacob Potts at the Variante Ascari, and now on the back stadium he will head up to Parabolica, and after that he will start his first flying lap of the season. As you know, Rob, and we have to inform our viewers that the tires are very, very cold when the cars exit the pit lane, so they need 1 or 2 preparation laps.
Yeah, like Formula One, these guys don't get tire warmers on their tires the entire time they're in the pits. So once they hit the track, that's they've been sitting at room temperature for the longest time. But the main thing with these cars isn't so much actually heating them up with the cold tires. It's going to be overheating them as the race goes on. We'll see a lot of drivers getting a little tail happy or getting a little bit of oversteer in that car due to heating up these tires. This is a very fast racetrack with some very fast corners, and if these drivers aren't careful, they could overheat them tires very quickly.
I believe these cars do have the DRS system, so it will be a little bit easier to overtake around Monza. I'm pretty curious to see if anyone can dethrone Lewis Archer, if it will be Chris Byron or anyone else. I think Anton Natson was last year too in the F3 championship. We see now the F3 champion Lewis Archer. As Jacob Potts, it's there he is in the background. He's about to set his first time lap of the season, of the second season for the iFormula League esports. There goes the number 41, and he spins at the Parabolica. Exactly what I said earlier, the tires are very, very, very cold, and the drivers must be very careful on the throttle application, even at Parabolica, because the amount of effort and the kindness these tires need is very, very big.
Yeah, and like you had said, it's going to be his first time lap. So everybody has just come out of the pits. Everybody's got the same kind of lower pressure, cold tires. So, I mean, we may see a couple drivers come to the top of the boards that are really pushing their car for the first lap or two of qualifying. And then we may see the qualifying order just totally change after a few laps when the other drivers let their tires heat up properly and then really jump on it. So the next 10 minutes or so should be a very interesting 10 minutes as we look at Eli Cannon right now in the number 19 machine. He is getting ready to come down and complete his first lap.
For the time being, Alex Gatnecht has the fastest lap time of 1:36.3. Don Day and Lewis Cullen have set their lap times. There goes the number 19. He starts his flying lap, as I see from the live timing on my screen. We're 5 minutes into the session. 3 drivers have completed their timed lap. There we see the yellow Kuda car. Kuda has 4 cars in the Formula 2 Championship. As we see 12 participants in the first race of the season. This is Daniel Thomas with the number 96 of Kuda E Motorsport. I haven't seen another lap being posted to be...
Well, I think a lot of it is possibly off tracks. This track is very fast, and you're really pushing the edge all the time. And there's just a few little spots on this track, Parabolica being one of them. You just kind of really throw it into the corner, and you kind of pick up the throttle a little blind, not knowing if that car's going to stick or possibly jump off track. And then as you see him, he's going through the Lesmos right now. This corner that he's about to go through is another one where you just get your car a little bit over past that extra red and white striping, and you can get yourself an off track, and it discredits your lap time. So what we're seeing right now, the lap times that are being posted are only clean laps, not drivers that have gone off track at all. I'm seeing multiple drivers, at least 10 drivers have completed a lap now at this time, just not all of them have been clean and able to register as a good qualifying lap.
I can see from the session info that many drivers are entering the pit lane and immediately exit the pit lane. I see Alex Gatnecht and Lewis Archer, and Aston Day has went off the track. Anton Natson has entered the pit lane as the standings are changing, and we have more times set. Chris Byram has set the 4th fastest lap. Anton Natson is 5th. Daniel Thomas is now 3rd. The 136.3 remains the fastest lap of the race, of the qualifying session. Excuse me. Thus far, 1 second covers the top 6.
Yeah, 1 second covers the top 6, but only 0.4 of a second covers the top 3. Going to be very close. That's only half of our drivers that we have here now that have posted a lap. So we should, and many of the drivers that are very fast. Lewis Archer being one of them. He hasn't posted a lap yet. Jacob Potts, he hasn't posted a lap yet. He can be fairly fast. So there's a couple drivers out here that actually haven't fully posted a lap yet that we should be watching out for. And as we say that, Chris Byram goes to the top of the charts with a 136.040. Going to be 0.3 faster than Gutenek in second. And Archer comes in right behind him with a 136.070.
What was the fastest lap of the practice? 135.9, if I'm correct. So this smells a little bit like sandbagging. First lap 136.0, and the fastest lap of the practice was 135.9. I smell sandbags.
Either that, or as the time's gone on here, the track may have heated up or cooled down or changed a little bit. I'm sure with all the entire hour of free practice, it definitely had some rubber laid down on it. So as you see Lewis Archer there getting very loose coming out of the second Lesmos, it could just be that we're getting a little bit of rubber on the track and it's becoming a little bit more to drive.
Chris Byram, I think, is improving his best sectors as the number 46 loses the bag, and not Ascari. 8 people have posted the fastest lap times. This is Anton Natson, the number 89 machine, the Logitech car.
Yeah, that is the Orion team entry. One of the 2 Orion cars we have here tonight. We do not have an updated team list quite yet for the broadcast booth, but we will be able to, as the season goes on, let you know more of the drivers and the constructors championship that we're going to have here. I believe we have 18 races over the course of this season now, so we are going to have a fairly long season. It is going to be a very competitive, very tight season. It'll be very, very interesting to watch. So definitely stay tuned and check it out. We got Jacob Potts finally putting the lap down. He's going to clock in 7th fastest in the number 41 Lumos Sports racing machine.
Eli Cannon is on track, as is Tyler Lewis and Jason the Butcher. He goes P9 with 141.4. Obviously, he did a mistake on his fastest lap. There you see the white with orange stickers.
Yeah, that is a VSI Racing entry.
Jason Booth. He's P9 for the time being. We're waiting for Eli Cannon, Tyler Lewis, and Joshua Wood. As Booth loses the rear of his machine. There is a BWT car. That's Lewis Cullen, the American driver, number 24. He completes another lap. 136.53, his fastest of the session. We're almost halfway in the qualifying with Huda Motorsports leading 1-2. Chris Byron from Lewis Archer. Their gap is less than half a tenth.
And this guy is running in third place currently, 0.3 off of Lewis Archer and Chris Byram. That's Alex Gutnick. He's actually pulling into the pit area, getting a little bit of practice, getting onto pit lane. But his fastest time is a 1:36.295. Put that up early on in the qualifying session and hasn't been able to better it quite yet. But 0.3 of a second isn't a whole lot to really pick up. That's just a hair in a braking zone, or just getting a little bit loose on exit.
I wonder where the Kuda guys are. Do you have any live pictures of Chris? There we go. This is Daniel Thomas. He's in 6th place. Chris is in the pits. He's exiting the pits as we speak. I think
Lewis is going through his scurry.
I think his last lap was cancelled due to track limits, as we see a car going off the track in the background after the Rogia. Sick game. That was Booth in the same spot as in the last lap. And we see the replay.
Looks like just a spot of cold tires.
Now, where is Tyler Lewis and Joshua? They haven't completed the time lap.
They are actually off the track. They haven't even been on track yet. So Tyler Lewis and Joshua Wood in the session, but currently still in the garage.
Things have settled a bit in as we are 10 minutes away from the end of the qualifying. Do you think these drivers are thinking about the race? What's the strategy going to be?
Well, I believe they're looking at the board right now, and you see our top three drivers are all on outlaps. You see Lewis Archer giving, I believe that was Alex Gutnick or Daniel Thomas in front of him, a little bit of space, so that way if they have an issue, he can keep going and he doesn't lose a lap. But everybody's coming out for another pit run. I think they see how close it is. And this run here in the last 10 minutes of qualifying, I would expect them to really push their car to see really what they can get out of it and see really where the edge is, so that way when they come down to the end of the race, they know what they're working with, and they know how far they can push their car to get it to victory.
As we have our first comments on the live stream, Ivan is cheering for Kuda Motorsport. Tell us your opinion about the Formula 2 iFormula League series. Subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We are in qualifying right now, and we're expecting a big showdown in the last couple of minutes. Drivers are now preparing for their final laps as we see Daniel Thomas again exiting Parabolica.
Why don't we actually take a ride with Daniel Thomas here and kind of see what he's got to go with. Take you a lap around Monza here.
Archer did not improve, 136.4. It's very, very, very close. Very close. Top 5 in less than half a second.
Chris Byram improves his lap. He just hit a 135.884. So that's going to be the fastest lap of the session, the first 135 we've seen today, at least in qualifying.
We're approaching the first Lesmo with Thomas. He's very conservative. Brakes at the 50-minute marker, exits the second Lesmo. Upshifts up to 280 kilometers per hour. That's around 175 miles per hour for our American audience. Third gear now fourth. He exits the Ascari and loses the back end. Did you see how easy it is to put the road foot down? And straight onto the wall for Daniel Thomas from P6.
And there you see Chris Byram coming back out on the track after that blazing lap. Now almost 0.3 of a second faster. Actually 0.3 of a second faster than his teammate Lewis Archer in second place. It looks like he's chasing one of the Lumos esports cars around.
Eli Cannon is...
That's going to be Alex Gutenek, their third pace driver in 14th.
Jacob Potts has gone off the track as we speak. And he's heading out of the pits right now. Eli Cannon and Chris Byram are on outlaps. On their outlaps. I wonder where Tyler Lewis and Joshua would have.
Yeah, they have not come in. They might be having some issues, or they just want to start in the back. Not exactly sure. I thought I'd seen them at least post some practice times, but I am not quite sure. 6 minutes left to go here in qualifying. Chris Byram currently sitting on the top spot with a 135.884. That Kuda car moving pretty quick. Lewis Archer, his teammate in the 46, coming out of Parabolica now. Going to try to pick it up. Currently sitting second. And it's a 136.246. So 0.2 slower than his fastest lap. Alex Gutenek there is right behind him. Actually, he went into the pits. He's currently in third. Anton Knutson is in fourth right now with a 136.373. About 0.7 off the pace right now. And Luis Cullen is rounding out your top 5. Ooh. And that turning point car gets a little loose in turn 1 there. Looks like he doesn't have any damage, but he is going to bring it to the pits. He is currently your 5th place driver. No, he's going to actually pull back on the track.
If you have,
see if he can get another lap in here.
If you have the drivers can set at least 2 fast times. If you exit the pits right now, you can do 1 outlap and 2 flying laps.
Now, one thing we haven't actually talked about is the difference between the F2 and the F3 cars. These F2 cars have something called DRS, which is a drag reduction system that works in the back wing of the car, which the F3 cars do not have. Do they have how many? Do you know how many DRS activations they have in qualifying? Is it unlimited, or I know in the race we only have they only have 8 DRS activations anytime they'd like to use them, but there's only 8 of them, so they have to use them wisely. What about qualifying?
I think we haven't seen any rear wing open up until now, so I don't think they're using DRS in qualifying. If they are using DRS, as Luis Colon is now returning to the pits, and Jason Booth starts another flying lap. His fastest is 1:41.3. You said earlier about the difference between the Formula 2 and the Formula 3 cars. The difference in lap time is around 7 to 8 seconds depending on the track. Here at Monza is 8 seconds difference, and the top speed difference is 30 to 32 kilometers per hour. That's around 20 miles per hour for our American friends. This is from testing. Oh, as Jason Booth spins again, I think in the same spot.
But he keeps it off the wall. That's very important. And it looks like Gutenek's going to slide into him.
So who's on a fast lap?
Well, we only have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in qualifying. That's going to allow these guys to maybe, depending on where they're at on the track, get 2 more laps in. So this is really honestly the last run they're going to have. Anybody coming out of the pits from now on is going to have too cold of a tires to be able to do anything. As you see, there's someone in the grass, an Orion Racing entry there. Gutenek looks like he posts up his fast time with a 1:36.230. Still,
that's not enough.
0.15 off Archer.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. It's Chris gaining on his best lap time. Let's see. Is he preparing the tires? 1 time lap. He has 1 more lap after this one. Chris Byron exiting the Parabolica onto the main straight. I don't see any change on the live timing, so he starts his final lap for the day. Chris Archer is in the final sector, I believe. There he is, Chris Archer. He has 1 more after this one, as does Alex Gutne behind him.
Which is a good thing, because I believe I just saw, I believe that's Knutson behind him there, who's in 4th right now. I've seen him go off track, so he's definitely going to want 1 more. Or maybe that was Gutenek. I did see him go off track there. Lewis Archer does not improve either. And Gutenek loses it in Parabolica. That is going to be the end of his qualifying run. With only 10 seconds left in qualifying,
Daniel Thomas is completing his
lap.
lap.
Be up to speed.
There he is.
And he just misses it. He was just a second before, and he does not pick up. He's close with a 1:36.702. So no. Daniel Thomas is not going to get another lap, I don't think.
Where's Chris Byram?
Chris Byram's getting ready to come through Parabolica one more time. Lewis Archer's off track, so now, unless Daniel Thomas has got another lap, which I don't believe he does, you are looking at your Season 2, Round 1 Formula 2 pole sitter. And comes across the stripe. That is going to end qualifying.
Wow. Wow, what a huge battle between the title contenders of last season, Byron and Archer. Kuday Motorsport again on pole position, and this time for round 1. Chris Byron has done it. He has pole position, a very important pole position. It gives him.
So we want to take a second and just thank one of our sponsors, Butt Kicker. They've been with us. This is going to be their second season now with us. They do some really awesome stuff for the winners and stuff in our league. So we want to thank these guys for being on board. And we're going to get ready, and we're going to check out the grid here in just a moment. I believe we have a 5-minute warm-up. See if I'm able to pull up any results. Not exactly sure if I'm able to get at those quite yet.
Nope.
I guess that's going to be what we got here. That's your unofficial results at the moment. Chris Byram clocking in at the pole with a 135.884, and Lewis Archer going to be starting his outside with a 136.070.
Alex Gatnek, I'm murdering his name. I'm sorry, Alex. The Canadian driver starts P3 ahead of Anton Natson, who completes the second row. Lewis Collin is 5th ahead of Daniel Thomas. Eli Cannon, I think I just lost the results of qualifying.
And that's because we are going to the warm-up now. We got 5 minutes for these drivers to warm up, do what they got to do in the garage or whatever. And in about 5 minutes, we're going to have lights out for Season 2, the premiere of the F2.
Is 8th, 9th will start, Don Day will start in P9, and Jason Booth will start P10. We have 12 drivers competing in this race. After the this is a warning for our viewers, because after the warm-up we're gonna see the cars going onto the track, and the 5 lights will be shown immediately. So be prepared. There won't be any formation lap, there won't be any countdown to green lap. It's a standing start immediately after the warm-up.
Yeah, so all the drivers, once this warm-up comes down and ticks down to 0, all the drivers will have, I believe, 2 minutes to grid up and get in their cars on the grid. But the moment every single car is on the grid, they will get a little light bar that pops up, and within just a couple seconds, we are racing. So it does happen very fast, and turn 1 is always the turn to watch at the beginning of any road course race. See a couple drivers coming through and starting laps. Looks like Jacob Potts and Anton Knudsen are running with each other.
We have 35 laps in this race. So what do you think will be the best strategy? Would you go for a long first stint or for a short first stint? Are you betting on an early safety car?
I mean, I'm definitely going to plan on there being an early safety car, but I don't think that's going to really work into my strategy, other than my viewpoint on how I go into the race and go into, the first lap or 2. Expecting something crazy to happen, being careful, driving defensively is obviously going to be your first thought. But when it comes down to, fuel strategy and what you're going to do there, it's all dependent on how you like to drive your car. Some people may like to have, a heavier car, a little bit more stable, a little bit more fuel in it. Some people may like to have it light and on the edge. It all depends on how your driving style and where you're at. But the main thing is you just don't want to run out of fuel.
And also don't take out your teammate.
We do have one mandatory pit stop. You do have to take tires at least once during this race. So everybody will have cold tires at least twice. As we see some cars starting to put some laps down on the board. We got 1 more minute left in warm-up, and then we go racing Formula 2 style for the first time here at the iFormula League. And
it's a new experience for everyone because they haven't raced again in these cars, at least in a championship race, and I think there will be some nervous fingers and foot pressing the pedals and steering their cars.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be... It looks like we don't have really too many drivers out there. Just a few drivers putting some laps down before the race. Let's actually take a look here real quick.
Yeah, most of
and
them
we're gonna see what we got going on for the race. What's the track temperature like right now? It looks like we got an 80-degree Fahrenheit ambient temperature outside. Or the track temperature is 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It looks like it's only about 70 degrees outside, so it's actually a pretty beautiful day. Partly cloudy with just a couple degrees of breeze. So these guys shouldn't really have too much problem with the track. The track's not too hot, so they should have a whole lot of grip for the beginning of this race. And as we take a peek, now it's available. Here is your grid for round 1 of the iFormula League F2 Series. Chris Byram taking the pole with a 135.884, and Lewis Archer, his CUDA Works teammate, coming out on the outside there. Alex Gutenek in that 14 Lumos Esports machine starting inside row number 2 with Anton Knudsen starting in 4th position. Lewis Colin in the number 40 or 24 in that turning point. Pink vehicle is starting in 5th with Daniel Thomas, the CUDA Evo car in the 96 starting in 6th. Eli Cannon is starting 7th, and Jacob Potts.
The cars are ready. The cars are ready.
And we're off. Lights are out, and Daniel Thomas in the CUDA car spins out on the start. Backwards already. As we go into turn number 1.
Chris Byram leads from Alex Gutenek, and Anton Knudsen is in 3rd place as the cars are going round very, very, very slowly at the exit of the first corner. Are we under safety car?
We are under
conditions?
safety car. We'll see. It looks like Daniel Thomas went off track. Maybe that's what the safety car was for? I'm not exactly sure. I didn't see too much happen in front of him. It looks like that safety car was right at the beginning. I'm not seeing anything else in the way of traffic, so it looks like Daniel Thomas is going to bring out our first safety car.
This is Chris Byram, who's leading the race from Alex Gutenek. I think Lewis Archer has overtaken Anton Knudsen. I think he's gaining places. I don't know if the race control has ordered him to do so, but I'm pretty sure he overtook one car under safety car conditions, and I think he's overtaking another car. Yes, he's now in P2. Maybe the race control wants to restart the race with the grid that was set for qualifying. But Daniel Thomas has lost 4 places. Don Day and Jason Booth have gained 2 places at the start of this race. The start of the new season has brought us a safety car right at the beginning, as Chris Byrom is now completing the first lap of the Formula 2 season, and he's approaching the safety car right now. There is the Porsche 911 safety car. The drivers will be saving fuel and will do their best to keep their tires up to temperature. I know, and you know better than me, how difficult it is under safety car conditions to keep the tires in decent temperature.
Well, see, that's the problem, though, is these guys haven't gotten their tires to a decent temperature yet. We started the race, and within 30 seconds, we had a safety car. So the only temperature that's in these tires right now is the one caution lap that they went around to catch up to this safety car. So everybody, in a sense, is just going to be starting the race over with cold tires, but they're going to be rolling this time. Do you think that's going to have any difference on the start of this race?
It's going to be very tricky for the drivers, especially those who aren't familiar with this kind of situations. And I do feel about Daniel Thomas. The start of the race may have got him surprised. But there's still time. There's still plenty of laps to go. The cars are going around 62 miles per hour or 100 kilometers per hour. This is good. You know this is going to be an issue, the metric system and the normal system.
Yeah, we will get it worked out as we go through the season. The cool thing we can see as they're coming down the long straight here is you can see all the different liveries. It looks like the Orion team there is splitting up the Turning Point team. You see them all back there. The cars look great. The new liveries that we're seeing this year with the F2 cars, these guys really put some effort into it, and they really, really do look awesome. You got the Lumos and the Orion, Turning Point cars in the pink.
As we are under safety car conditions, we need to point out that the iFormula League uses the Formula 1 or the official FIA point system with the top 10 earning points. Also, the driver who will have the least incidents, off tracks or incidents, will be awarded with 1 point for each race. So it's important to stay inside the track limits, because you might earn a point. If it's tight, the driver who finishes the highest will earn the point.
And honestly, it's very hard to stay that clean without having one incident point, without making one mistake over a 35 lap period with these F2 cars. So the driver that gets that least amount of incident points in the race is definitely going to be earning that 1 point. And I believe as we cross the stripe, the lights should be out on the safety car, and they are. That means we have one more lap under caution here, and the next time we come through Parabolica, the field will be in the hands of Chris Byrom in the 99 CUDA Works powered machine, and he's going to take him green flag.
We also have our first pitter for the day. Jacob Potts pits from P9. He loses 1 place, so it won't be a huge issue for him. I wonder if he had the contact with Daniel Thomas at the start, or Daniel just spun on his own at the start of the race, watching the lights go out.
Well, these F2 cars, another difference between these F2 cars and the F3 cars is these F2 cars have launch control. And this is these guys' first race, and probably maybe some of the first times using launch control. on a race car. So I have a feeling that he just kind of lost control of the car, trying to launch it off the grid there. I didn't really see anybody get into him. The only person I seen go into the pits was Jacob Potts. He is only fell one position back, and he is ready to go for the start. As you see him getting ready to go, just got through or getting ready to go through the Lesmos.
Until we get back to green, make sure you like this video, make sure to subscribe to iFormula League and share the video so many more will join us for this amazing season. It's lap 3 of the Italian Grand Prix for the Formula 2 Championship, brought to you by Bud Kicker. Chris Byron leads from Lewis Archer and Alex Gutneck are the top 3. We had an incident right at the start of the race, and the race control decided that the best thing to do is to throw out the safety car. Look at the waving. I'm very excited about the restart. Some people are waving a lot and some others are waving way less. Let's see who will have the best car, or maybe the best the tires in the best condition to attack.
And I mean, really, these guys are I'm sure they're warming up the tires a little bit. But I really, as cold as they were and being right at the beginning of the race, I really don't think they're going to have too much of a difference. Maybe just a little bit, but a little bit is all you need in these F2 cars to be faster than somebody else. But they're getting ready. That pace car, that safety car, he's starting to take that turn in Parabolica. It's going to be in the hands of Chris Byram. He can take off whenever he wants once that safety car's gone.
Very difficult moments. And
let's take a ride with Alex and see what he sees on the start here going into turn 1.
He has a great toe. He has double toe. He has double toe from the Kuda cars. Does he go on the inside? Yes, he goes on the inside.
He thinks twice.
Oh, Lewis lost the brakes! Archer lost the brakes and hit Byram. The worst possible scenario for Kuda. The F3 champion tagged his teammate.
And Chris Byram's still stuck. The safety car does not come out.
Nightmare scenario for the champions. Nightmare scenario. Archer was under attack. Let's see the replay, Rob.
This is Chris Byram. He gets in, and Lewis just a little too hard in behind him, sends him around. Lewis goes and takes the side road with, I'm sure, a little bit of front wing damage, and Chris Byram is just left in the grass. I'm sure those two will definitely be having some words with each other. But that opens the door for Alex Gutneck in the 14 machine to go out, and he's almost got a 2.5 second lead over Luis Colin.
Christmas is here for Alex Gutneck, as Luis Colin and Don Day are scrapping for the second place. I wonder how much damage the Kuda cars have. And if you want my opinion, Rob, I think the incident between the Kuda cars was more of a safety car worthy than the start of the race incident.
Yeah, I believe the start of the race incident. I think he was already behind the field and he was backwards, and everybody was already past him. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but the two Kuda cars did get out of the racing line and were in the grass, out of the way, out of everybody's harm. So I'm sure that is why the safety car was not thrown. They weren't in the way of any of the other drivers and causing safety hazards for them. So that wasn't there. But currently out front, the Canadian Alex Gutneck in the Lumos Esports entry. trying to put almost 3 seconds now on Luis Colin.
Byron and Archer have both passed Daniel Thomas, who is 28 seconds behind the leader. Chris Byron is now trying to overtake Jason Booth. That's for P7 of the race. I'm sure Chris is livid.
Chris, I mean, he may have a diffuser or something broke underneath that car, maybe a little bit of floor damage, but I mean, overall, the car looks like it's in fairly decent order. Same thing with Lewis Archer. It looks like Lewis might have a little bit of wing damage, possibly in the front, but I'm not really seeing too much damage from his car as well. So they could just be very lucky and just have lost track position and not actually banged up some race cars. So we'll see what actually happens with these guys. But at the moment, the two CUDA Works cars running 8th and 10th at the start of this Italian Grand Prix with 4 laps complete.
Booth had a poor exit from turn 1 and Archer has overtaken him for P8. This is Daniel Thomas. He had enough, I think, again, and he's running P10. Booth and Archer are fighting. Booth overtaken Archer again for P8. There is the scrap as the CUDA driver overtakes for P8. He's now 4 seconds behind his teammate. There is the overtake on the inside.
A beautiful
Easy
overtake by Lewis Archer.
We're back into live pictures. Number 46 started second, but on the restart of the race, he hit the car, his teammate, and both CUDA cars went off the track and lost the lead of the race. Rob.
Yeah, and as you see right now, Chris Byram, he started on the pole, is now trying to work his way back up, trying to chase down Knutson for 6th place right now. You see in the bottom right-hand corner, he's about a half to 3/4 second away, but as he comes through turn 1 there, he drops it down a 1/10 of a second. So he is going to try to battle up for that 6th position and keep working his way up to the front. We still have many laps to go here. So as you see, he goes down to the inside and he's going to take that spot.
Beautiful move by Byron. He is 15 seconds behind the leader. He has a long way to catch up. There is Alex Gatnech. On the lead of the race, on his own. And he is extending his lead to 3.5 seconds from Lewis Collin, the American. 4 Americans, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th for the time being. There are the pink cars in the background. Number 14 leads after 5 on lap 5.
Knutson not trying to give up easy and let Byram get away, still trying to stay on his tail. You see Lewis Archer a little further back from these two. I think he might have a little bit more nose damage than we had thought. Just a little bit off the pace right now.
Fastest on track, Alex Gatnek, 137.1. Chris Byron, 137.6. 137.6 for Archer, 137.5 for Lewis Collin. So he's faster than the good drivers, as is Jacob Potts in 5th place. I wonder if that's related to fuel, the fuel times.
Dante trying to hold on to 3rd position. But Eli Cannon in the number 19 is right behind him. Did gain on him. Not sure exactly what happened with Cannon. Looks like he lost just a little bit there.
Different lines at the extra parabolica for both drivers. As the gap between Cannon and Day is decreased. Heavy braking into turn 1.
And it looks like even with the first lap incident, Chris Byram has turned the fastest lap of the race so far. He just turned a 1:37.089, so about a 1/10 of a second faster than Gutenek's time in the lead.
Jason Booth has fallen into 10th place. I wonder if he must have enough. There he is 1 lap behind in number 187. If my time screen is correct, and I believe it is correct because he was behind the Kudo drivers. He had enough and now he's 1 lap behind. The positive about tonight's grid is that everyone will earn points because top 10 will be classified. Now let's see. Oh, look at Chris Byram behind. Chris Byram is right behind Jacob Potts. On the outside, before Parabolica. Can he do it? He thought about it. He wants to have a better exit than Potts. Now on the slipstream.
Yeah, he's going to get that toe coming down that long front straight. See if he will dive to the inside. Looks like Potts is going to block the inside, going to make Byram go to the outside.
Driver. Can Byram do
and
it?
now Byram's
Yes.
got the inside, and he's going to take it. Oh,
And
Potts
oh,
gets
no!
loose and takes out Byram. Byram's the second time he got hit today. Gets spun out by Jacob Potts getting loose behind him. Luckily, didn't lose that much time. But gotta be very frustrating for the fastest car in the field.
Does he have damage? Because he hit his rear left side into the barrier. Does he have damage? I think he has damage. We may see him.
I definitely
entering
see
the
some
pits.
wing damage in the back. It is definitely tweaked a little bit. We are on lap 7 right now, so I'm sure he has a little ways to go before he can make his pit stop, unless he's going to try to do it in a 2-stop race, which is just going to totally kill it for him. So unfortunately, a little bit of damage for Chris Byram. He's going to have to wait, I'm guessing, at least 4 or 5 laps before he can actually come down and get that car repaired.
And again, no safety car. No safety car for this incident.
No, we are still staying green flag. Alex Gutenek still out front in that Lumos Esports machine, but Luis Colin is gaining on him in that number 24.
3 tenths. Gap is 1.5 seconds. Luis Colin has a very, very solid pace. 1:37.1, his personal best time. The number 24, the big car. Ahead of his teammate Dante and Eli Can, who is 4th. Chris Byram did not pit at the end of lap 7 out of 35. Gap has gone down again. He lost half a tenth at the Variante Ascari. As we see in the background, the battle for third also. Who would expect after qualifying that both Kuda cars will be outside of top 5?
Yeah, and Lewis Archer is trying to work his way back up there. He's almost catching Alex Knutson. So he might move his way back up into the top 5 in a moment after that P1 or the turn 1 incident. But these guys do have one fast repair for their pit stop if they choose to do it. And if Archer does have a little bit of damage on that car, he can get that fixed fairly quickly and possibly have a chance at trying to get himself a podium to start out this season.
We saw him right at the back of Anton Knudsen, but he didn't go on the inside. Look at this on the outside of Curva Grande. Lewis Archer overtakes Anton Knudsen and goes on to P5. But he loses. Oh! He lances off at Rogia and loses the place again. I wonder if there is damage.
I am sure he's got some floor damage after that. That was a very, very rough. Take a look.
There we go, Rob, again.
What happened? See how he gets past him, turns into the corner, gets a great turn, and just doesn't have a great cutback. Hits them black and yellow barriers. I'm sure he might have a little bit of issue keeping up with that. Chris Byram is now right behind him, trying to catch him. Alex Gutenek, the leader of the field right now. He just completes lap number 9. And Colin is a little ways behind him now.
Colin lost 5 seconds in the last lap. He must have done a mistake. He lost 5 seconds to Alex and 4 seconds to his teammate, who is now less than 3 seconds behind him. There you see the gap. It's visibly lower. Sorry.
So a very interesting start to the Formula 2 Italian Grand Prix. Seen a couple issues. Daniel Thomas loses it at lights out, and we get a safety car back under green. Then we have Lewis Archer spinning out Chris Byram going into turn 1 while they were running 1-2. And then we just seen just a moment ago Lewis Archer getting into some of the barriers in between the corners. So we're definitely seeing some stuff happen at the beginning of this race. And I'm sure these guys aren't even really being aggressive at the moment.
You have to be aggressive, especially if you have lost so many places like the Kuta drivers. The gap to the lead is now 18 seconds. Chris Byram is right behind Lewis Archer for P6. I wonder how much damage the two Kuta cars have. And at the same time, Anton Knudsen has entered the pit lane. Did he?
I don't think so, but we've got a battle between the Kuta drivers. Chris Byram easily overtaking Chris Archer down the straightaway.
I'm sure Archer would never fight Chris today.
And I believe Lewis has some floor damage. You just see Chris pulling away just a little bit from Lewis. I have to imagine in the next lap or two that distance will get larger. Chris Byram goes off track, and Lewis is going to get back by him.
At this point, the two CUDA drivers are losing the chance even for a top 5 finish, while the rivals are flawless on track.
Yeah, very, very tough break for the CUDA Works team here at Monza. But we have seen what these drivers can do. So don't count them out just yet. We still have 25 or 23 laps to go. So that is plenty of time for other drivers to make a mistake. And even just a mistake on pit road. You get a 1 mile an hour speeding penalty on pit road, and you've got to sit on pit road for 45 seconds. That's a big, big difference as we see Lewis Archer going into the pits at this time. Too much damage for him to deal with. He's going to change up his strategy. But it's just one of those things with these cars that you have to pick and choose where that strategy starts.
Want to live moments like this? Contact us at iFormula League on Facebook or Instagram so you can join the championship. Today, every Saturday, is the Formula 2 Championship brought to you by Kicker, and on Sundays we have the Formula 3 Championship brought to you by Kicker. Of course, as Chris Byram has another difficult moment at the Roger chicane. How far behind is Lewis Archer? 32.5 seconds.
And it looks like we had just a moment ago, it looks like Jacob Potts is hitting pit lane. Looks like Jason the Booker had an issue on track a little just a few moments ago. Looks like it was going into turn number 1. Getting into the braking zone, and he just goes way too fast and kind of loops it. Luckily doesn't get any damage on the vehicle, and he can keep that car going.
He doesn't do any favors on his pretty car as Chris, is that Chris Byram?
Yeah, Chris Byram now taking to the pit road. Now, do you think that was timed out where Lewis Archer hits pit road the next lap? Chris Byram does.
Given their pace, I'm pretty sure it's an unscheduled pit stop. Let's see if he changes anything to his car, and let's see where he comes out compared to Lewis Archer.
Yeah, we're taking a look right here at your leader, Alex Gutnick. Chris Byram now pulling off pit road, so your leader coming down almost to Parabolica as Chris Byram is coming out on to the racetrack, and Lewis Archer is right in front of him. So a good team effort to get pit stops done early on in this race. I'd be interested to see if on a full tank of fuel, if these guys can make it the last 22 laps.
Now I want to see their pace.
And Alex Gutnick, our leader's on pit road.
Is this a two-stop race? We are on lap 14 right now out of 35.
I have to imagine these guys are at the limit of where they can make a pit stop and make it to the end of the race. I don't imagine these guys doing a two-stop race. But Lewis Colin, now in the Turning Point Racing machine, is going to assume the lead 5 seconds over his teammate Don Day.
Look how difficult it is for these cars. Oversteer at the exit of the Roger chicane for Lewis Colin, who now leads the race. Number 24, 4 places ahead of his starting position. 4 places below his starting position is Lewis Archer, and Chris Byram is 6 places below his starting position. We are 31 minutes in, 14 laps into the first race. of the Formula 2 iFormula League Championship, brought to you by Butt Kicker. As Lewis Collins is on the back straight and he's heading to Parabolica. You're watching live from our YouTube channel, the iFormula League. Contact us if you're interested in running in the championship.
And you seen that last lap, the little bit of oversteer that Lewis Collins getting. That little bit of oversteer is going to cause them rear tires to heat up. And being now that he completed the 14th lap here, those tires are nice and warm. So these drivers definitely having to be careful.
Archer has had enough. Archer has had an off and he returned it to the track behind now Chris Byron. 1 second behind Byron. Don't tell me it was Roger Chicane again. As Jacob Potts went off the track.
Well, let's see what happened with Jacob. Oh, it looks like he...
Was it contact? Was it contact with the 46?
Well, I think it looks like he got into the grass there on his turn in, and it just sent that car around. It doesn't take much catching the edge of the racetrack to really upset these vehicles. Luckily, he doesn't hit anything, and he can keep that car going.
It's the first race of the season. It's normal for these drivers not to be 100% with their cars. Trusting their car is very difficult, especially this Renault 3.5 Formula 2 car. More horsepower than the F3 car, bigger tires, bigger everything. And testing time is limited for some.
Yeah, some of our drivers are very busy, and some of them didn't even get into a car until a couple hours before the race today. So definitely getting used to the new F2 car.
Lewis Collins the pits. Lewis Collins, the leader of the race, into the pit lane as we speak. There he is, the number 24, as Don Day and Eli Cannon now have the lead of the race.
And after his pit stop, Alex Gutenek is now back up to 4th position, waiting for the top 3 to come to pit road and cycle back through.
1:37.5 for Gutenek. 1:37.8 was the last timed lap for Chris Byron. Now it's a 38.0, so that's 5/10 behind Alex Gutenek. No, Gutenek loses it! Loses the packet! And he smashed into the wall! The number 14 from the effective lift of the race. Does he have damage? And now Lewis Collins is about to overtake for the first place. Now 4th for the time being.
That is going to be the battle for the tentative lead. Colin and Gutenek have both pitted. Knutson, Cannon, and Day have not. So Lewis Colin is going to get past Gutenek after a mistake by Gutenek. We'll have to see what happened there.
Everything is happening right now as Archer has overtaken Byron again. Now let's see after the Roger Chicane. It's again the Roger Chicane, Rob. Again at the exit. Did he touch the wall?
Oh yeah,
yes.
He definitely did.
Yes, he did. Does he have a lot of damage? Does it need to be fixed? Very unlikely for Alex. Very unlikely for the Canadian driver.
He's very lucky that he didn't get into that wall harder and actually knock the nose cone off that car, because that would have been a big problem for Gutenek, as he is already pitted and would lose so much time. And honestly, that would have allowed one of the CUDA cars, and he loses it in turn number 1. Overdrives it. Another crucial error for Alex Gutenek, in the number 14 machine. Still can't get it straight and on course. There he goes finally. Loses about 10 seconds there on Lewis Colin. And Lewis Archer is now coming It looks like he's about 11 and a half seconds back from Guteneck as we speak at the moment. So a couple big errors for the number 14 in the Lumos Esports entry.
Nightmare lap for the Lumos Esports entry, and now the CUDA cars are just 10 seconds behind the previous leader. Don Day, 8 places gained. Number 4, P1, 32 seconds in front of Lewis Collins, his teammate. The pit lane time is the delta is around 32 seconds. Gonna be very, very, very close. 1:37.8. Lewis Collins did the 37.1 on the last lap. 37.5 for Don Day. Eli Cannon 1:37.9, 4.5 seconds behind Don Day. Anton Natson P3 in the 89 machine. Everything's happening at Monza right now. Everything's happening. Stay tuned. Don't miss a second. Do not miss a second. And I do wonder now, where will the CUDA drivers end up?
Running in second place, the Orion Sports entry, Eli Cannon, kind of staying a little bit quiet throughout this race, just kind of running his own line, hasn't really made any mistakes, hasn't really done too much to make himself known, but he's got himself within 4.5 seconds of your leader, Don Day, running in P2. Looks like the leaders are going to be coming up on some lap traffic. Might help a little bit with him catching Don Day, but is he going to want to make a pit stop and try to get in there before Don so that he can have a little bit of a faster time getting to warm tires, or are you going to, at this point, stay out until the leader stays out?
If a safety car comes out, then it's a nightmare scenario for the leaders. I would pit now. I would pit now and avoid anything. Everything. It's as Lewis Archer is now P10. Anything happened to Archer?
Lewis Archer went into the pits, and it looks like Lewis Archer is calling it quits. Not sure what happened.
Lewis Archer crossed on lap 18. He crashed the car. Do we have a replay of this? Do we have a replay for the reigning Formula 3 champion? Did he just stop? Did he just stop?
He got loose and went into the grass. And not sure.
It must be mechanical. It must be mechanical.
Not sure exactly what happened there.
Drama continues for the CUDA team. Drama continues.
Well, your leader still in the number 4 machine, Don Day.
Wow. And he's coming into the pits. Eli Cannon stays out.
Don Day is in the pits now. It looks like Eli Cannon is going to stay out and assume the lead. So your new leader is going to be Eli Cannon in the 19 Orion Racing entry. And he is currently on lap number 20. Once he comes across the stripe, we'll have 15 more laps to go. And Cannon still has a pit stop to make.
I tell you what, the extra point for the time being goes to Anton Natson, one off track for the Orion Logitech car. Very consistent. That's the story of the race. Stay onto the track.
And right now, honestly, the two out front are the Orion Motorsports entries, the P1 and P2. So they are, looking very good for the Constructors' Championship at the moment. They got the pace and they're up front. You got Turning Point with Lewis Cohen and Don Day. They're running third and fourth.
Tell you what, though. Who's the fastest on track?
Currently, who has the fastest lap of the race is Alex Gutenek in 5th place. Currently riding around, trying to catch Don Day, but he's about 7 seconds behind Day in 4th place. You see the gap there between them, and it looks like there's a battle fitting to happen between Don Day and Lewis Colin.
As I predicted, the two cars are now in the same part of the track. Don Day, Lewis Colin, 24 from 4. Fastest car again was Chris Byram last time out. It hasn't ended well for teammates so far, and they're battling with each other.
Chris Byram trying to catch these guys so that he can at least try to get him a top 5 after a couple tough incidents.
1:37.1, fastest car on track, 1 second faster than the leader of the race. He's 15 seconds behind this crowd. 15 seconds. One safety car could change everything, but we've seen incidents happening and the safety car isn't called out. Now let's see if Don Day can attack and overtake Chris Corral, because this is effectively for the lead of the race.
Now, with Lewis Archer being our first person to retire from the race, our Formula 3. Oh, and Don Day goes off the track trying to chase down Lewis Cohen. He's going to get a little bit of a time penalty for that, and he's going to miss that. But what does Lewis Archer, the F3 champion last year, the person that everybody expected to be fast, the person everybody expected him to be the one to beat, where is your mindset for this last 10 laps or 12 laps of the race, knowing that Lewis is not getting, he's getting 1 point on the race. You're going to be ahead of him. What is your mindset for the rest of the race and going into next week?
Off the track, I think that was Booth. I think it's still the start of the season. It's still race 1. It's still gaining experience with these cars. Nobody who has done a mistake should be feeling bad. It's a long season, and if you do a mistake now, it's better, because you can learn from this and improve for the next time out, and hopefully with more practice, better result will come. But I think many of the drivers weren't ready for the start of the season. Some others were, but this is racing. This is iFormula League. This is a new championship. As the leader of the race, Eli Cannon comes into the pits on lap 22. He went very, very far into the stint. Is Anton Natcher coming in too? We'll find out very, very soon. He's not coming in.
It looks like we had an issue with Jason the Baker Butcher.
Nice.
Lost it in turn 1, but Daniel Thomas, I wasn't sure if these two got into it. Daniel Thomas had an issue as well, right about the same time that Booker had an incident. Daniel Thomas in the CUDA Evo Motorsports application, and it looks like he just heated the tires up a little bit, tried to get on the gas in Ascari, and it just didn't work out for him.
He's now 9 seconds in front of Jacob Potts in P7, as we see Eli Cannon coming out of the pit ahead of Don Day. They were fighting on track, but Day's mistake at the Ascari has cost him second place at the 1-2 for his team.
No, I'm not sure if Anton Knutson has come into the pits yet or not.
No,
I don't
no,
believe he has. I'm pretty sure he is the last car that needs to take a pit stop, but he is currently being shown your leader 15.5 seconds ahead of Luis Colin. Eli Canning
for Daniel Thomas, as Chris Byram has done the fastest lap of the race, 1:36.9.
It looks like Daniel Thomas was in the pit lane and is coming back out now.
He's ahead of Jacob Potts. One retirement so far of the race, Lewis Archer, the champion of Season 1 for the Formula Prix series.
And then we got this guy, Chris Byram. He was fastest in practice. He was took the pole in qualifying, and he's had the fastest lap of the race, but is currently running in 6th place right there. Another fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.945. So still the fastest car on the racetrack, doing whatever he can to do to catch Guteneck and try to salvage a top 5 finish. But you see the gap there in front of them. Might be a little too much for him to overcome in the next 11 laps. We'll have to keep an eye on and see.
He gained 1 second from Lewis Colin, the effective leader of the race, and he has halved the gap to Alex Guteneck in the last 3 laps. So Chris Byram is flying right now. He took 1.7 from Alex in the last lap, the number 14, who, as Chris, was a previous leader of this race.
And made a very crucial error at that.
Yeah, I think we've had 5 leaders so far. I think we had 5 leaders in this opening race of the Formula 2 Championship, brought to you by Butt Kicker.
There is your leader, Anton Knutson, as he starts lap number 25.
His last lap was 1:38.0. He's starting to lose pace from his tires too. 15 seconds ahead of Lewis Colin. He will come out just in front of, just behind Chris Byram, as we see a battle now developing between Lewis Colin, Eli Cannon, and Dan Day. You see the scrap. This is for the win of the race, and Eli Cannon was much braver on the breaking point for the Roger chicane, as we see behind Alex Guteneck too. And Chris Byram will also be joining for the last 10 laps of this race. This is gonna be hectic. This is gonna be on the limit.
Yeah, can Chris Byram catch these guys? He's only about, 5 seconds back, and if he can continue to run half a second or a second faster than these guys, he could definitely catch this group and possibly put himself in contention for a podium. At the moment, Anton Knutson, our leader, is hitting pit road, so we'll be interested to see where he comes out. Luis Colin is going to come around Parabolica, and he is going to assume the lead from Anton Knutson.
He went very wide. Very, very, very wide, and now Eli is right behind him. The gap is 5/10. This is for the win. This is for the win of the race. Where is Knutson compared to Byram? We've seen
Byram gets past Knutson, and Byram is going to move up into 5th.
Top 5 for Byram.
This is the battle for the lead. Luis Colin and Eli Cannon through Curva Grande, side by side. Cannon thinks twice of it before he hits the chicane and falls in behind Colin.
Very difficult race, very exhausting race for the for the drivers, a new car, a new season, new expectations, and now it comes down to this with 10 laps to go. Top 5 under 10 seconds. And the fastest one of them is Chris Barham in P5. 1:36.8.
But he's 10 seconds, 10 and a half seconds behind our leaders. Can he catch him? He is catching Gutenek, though. He may be able to get fourth.
And who knows what will happen with the front three. Half a second, the gap for the lead of the race. 3/10.
Is he gonna make a move?
Colin's
gonna block the inside. Oh, Cannon locks up! Cannon's gonna lose some time. I'm sure he's gonna get a penalty for that one. Then he does. Don Day goes by because Cannon has to let off for a time penalty. Lewis Colin gonna come out on top of that battle there.
But did he change his line in the breaking point?
We'll have to take a peek at that one and see if there was any rule infraction there after the race here.
If
But
he did, that might have caught Eli. This might have caught Eli out, and that's why he snatched the brakes, because he went very defensively, Lewis Collin, and we saw him going to the left for during the breaking point. If he has changed his line, I don't think that will be tolerated from the stewards, but yeah,
he comes over the braking zone is there at the 100. So he changed his line just before the braking zone. Not sure if that
I wonder if that
anything
scared.
wrong.
I wonder if that scared Eli. This change of the line.
It
wonder.
was definitely a very aggressive move by Luis Colin to block that inside line. And Colin goes off!
Brakes.
He's not going to go far enough to be able to cause himself a time penalty, but definitely might have damaged it and definitely allowed Don Day, his teammate, to catch back up just a little bit, now within a second of each other. And Chris Byram, I believe, has got himself he's about 9 seconds with the leader. He's moved himself up to fourth place, and he's gotten by Gutenek. Not sure what exactly happened there, but he has got himself up to fourth place.
Tell you what, Rob, nobody wants to win this race.
Lewis Colin, your leader. Almost 28 laps completed of the 35 scheduled here at the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Don Day gonna do everything he can to protect his teammate from Eli Cannon's final charge. But I'm sure Day really would like to get in front and take the inaugural F2 race victory. Lots of nerves going into the day and before the race. And these drivers have really put on a show. Colin in first, Day in second, Cannon third, Byram fourth, Gutenek in fifth.
That's an indicating of Gutenek, by the way. Gap is less than 3 seconds as we focus on the battle for the lead. Will there be? I'm asking you, Rob. Are we gonna see team orders in the teammates to stay 1-2?
I don't think we will see team orders this early on in the season. I think with it being the first race, with nobody having points on the board, I feel like it's kind of a all for nothing. I mean, if there's another driver, say Eli Cannon is trying to get these guys, say he tries to come up and pass Day, I'm sure that there'll be a little bit of something like, hey, try to hold them up as much as you can, you know. But I don't really see like a team owner getting on the radio saying, Colin, I want Day to win this race. You can win another one, and letting him just go by. I don't really see anything like that happening early on in the season, but possibly maybe later as you see another car come into frame. Chris Byram there, a really tough break for that number 99 machine in this race. Had a few incidents, totally not his fault, and he's doing everything he can to try to build back from it.
6.6 behind Eli Cannon, behind the podium spot. But regarding the win, if Day's in front of Colin, what happened? What happened? Where's the second big car? There it is.
Well, we had a problem with Daniel Thomas into turn number 1 right in front of your leaders. He went off, and then the leaders were coming behind him. Wait.
This is earlier.
I think I might have actually... Where did it go? Right here. There it is. So, oh, it looks like Colin got a little messed up in turn number 1. And let them get by. But Day is now out front. And Chris Byram somehow has made his way up to second place.
What is going on?
Looks like Lewis Colin had another issue.
Did they touch? No. One lost the brakes on the road, yeah.
Cannon gets up, and then it makes Lewis Colin mess up. Colin gets into the wall.
What did I tell you 2 laps ago?
And then Cannon was
Nobody wants to
very
win.
slow because he must have gone off track. He had to serve a penalty, and that allowed Byram to get by. Now Chris Byram running in second. But honestly, with 5 laps to go, he is 7.5 seconds behind Don Day. Oh, and you see Booker there having an issue there in turn 1. Not a problem for your leader, though. I mean, if he's got 5 to go and he is 7 seconds ahead of the fastest car on track, can Don Day hold out Chris Byram?
Good Naked Knudsen are fighting for 5th place, the teammates at Orion. 3/10 the gap at Orion. There is Chris Byram, 6.7 behind the leader now, and he also has the fastest lap of the race, our pole sitter, and Knudsen is now ahead of Gutneck for P5.
Looks like Gutneck's having some real serious issues. He's going fairly slow. I'm not sure if he went off track or what happened there. But lots of stuff, crazy stuff happening at the end of this race. Don Day has found himself in the lead, but Chris Byram is catching him. He is now 6.5 seconds behind, gaining about a second a lap. And even if he continues to gain this second a lap with 4 laps to go, he is just not going to have enough time to get there.
You're looking at your leader, Don Day, 8 places gained. So from the start of the race, Chris Byram has lost 1 place, and Eli Cannon, who now sits in 3rd, has gained 4 places, number 19. 10 seconds behind the leader.
And Alex Gutneck is on pit road in that 14 machine. Has a little bit of front wing damage. Not sure if he is calling it a day or if he's going to keep it on track. Looks like he may keep it on track. there is Don Day in the lead. And there
I'm
is
pretty
Chris Byram.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear from the top three after the race, after a crazy race at Monza.
Yeah, make sure you stick around. We will have interviews with our podium drivers. And then make sure you tune in tomorrow afternoon. We will go live at 3:45
what
for
is
the
this?
Formula 3 race. And who is that missing a total nose? It looks like Jacob Potts in the 41 Illumos Esports machine. He's going to get out of the way for the rest of the field.
You must
Jacob
be very, very
Potts
careful.
had a very rough spot. Looks like he just got in the grass and really had some issues. Tough break for Jacob Potts.
Now that's a crash.
Chris Byram's got the lead down to 6 seconds with 3 more laps to go.
Did Dundee made a mistake? He lost half a second in the first sector alone.
See
Oh,
Dundee makes a big mistake. He might actually have to slow down for that one. Chris Byram on the move. Now 4 seconds. 3.5 seconds. Almost. He lost a good 1.5 seconds there. He's still on it, but Chris Byram now almost within 3 seconds of the lead.
This is Byram's chance.
With only
This is Byram's
2.5
chance.
laps to go. Will
This is gonna be
race
thrilling.
Will this race turn around for Chris Byram and the Kuda Works team? He's had a couple issues this race, but he's stayed clean himself and consistent. And he's now in second, 2.5 seconds behind our leader as they get ready to come through Curva Parabolica for 2 laps to go.
I can't even think how Dundee feels right now, watching the gap going down, 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 and down from Chris Byram, who is now the hunter. He's back in the fight for the win after so many contacts, not on his fault. I remind you that after the safety car at the start of the race, he was punted out by his teammate, Lewis Archer. He's now 2.7. He lost 2/10 in the last half a lap with 2 or maybe less laps to go. Rob.
We got Lewis Archer, who you were just talking about, who had the issue with Chris at the beginning of the race. He is still the only driver that has retired from this race. Alex Gutneck and Jacob Potts in the pit lane. Jacob Potts may be in there for the rest of the race. He did hit the wall pretty hard, so he may be the second driver to retire from this race. But honestly, we've got everybody. The top 6 are still all on the lead lap, and we only have 3 drivers more than a lap down. So they're doing fairly well. Chris Byram got the gap down to 2.1 seconds. But Don Day, your leader right now, coming through Parabolica, and he sees the flag man. The white flag is in the air. We've got 1 more lap to go here at Monza.
Dundee starts his final lap of the race. Chris Byram, P2, just 2 seconds behind, and 5.1 now kilometers until the end of the race. Eli Cannon is third with the number 19 as Lewis Cullen. The former leader of the race is now 0.8 seconds ahead of Anton Natson, who is in the frame of earning the 1 extra point for the least off tracks in this race.
Don Day,
1.7.
all he has to do is keep it clean and not make a mistake. He's got half of a racetrack to go through the Lesmos. 1.7 seconds now the gap.
1.6.
Chris Archer doing everything he can to try and catch Don Day. 1.5 seconds to gap as they go down the back straightaway.
Anton Archer has overtaken Colin as we stay now with Don Day and Chris Byram. 1.4, 1.3. Just one corner to go for Don Day. Rob, over to you.
And as he comes through Parabolica one more time, give it up for your winner here at Monza, Don Day in the number 4 Turning Point Racing Machine. He's going to get it done over Chris Byram, who just turned the fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.736. Just not enough to do it. He got himself within 1 second of Don Day. What a finish here for the F2 inaugural race here at Monza. Eli Cannon is going to bring that number 19 machine home in third. On top of that podium, Anton Knudsen finishing in 4th. Lewis Colin taking home the P5 position. Daniel Thomas in that 96 Cuda Evo machine finishing in 6th. Alex Gutnick finishing 7th. Jason the Butcher Booker finishing 8th. Jacob Potts retiring a little bit early, finishing in 9th. And Lewis Archer, your one retirement very early on in the race, rounding out your field in 10th place. But the man of the hour, the man of the week, Don Day, dipped out off the racetrack, so we do not have a picture of his car at the moment. But Don Day is going to take the checkered flag.
What a start of the season for the Formula 2 Championship. Simply amazing. We had drama right at the start of the race. We had safety cars, we had contact between teammates, we had offs, we had crashes, we had overtakes, we had literally everything on the iFormula League Formula 2 opener here at Autodromo Internazionale di Monza, brought to you by Butt Kicker.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts, Rob? I think we saw a classic. I believe we saw a classic, and this result tells us a lot of what we're going to see throughout the season.
Yeah, and honestly, it was one of those things that it's the first race jitters. You never know what's actually going to happen, and when it comes down to it, you got to perform on race day, and when you make mistakes, it does make you have to work for it. So I'm sure the strategy and the outlook on the season has changed for many of the teams after this race, and I'm interested to see what kind of changes and things teams do over the next week before we head to Germany, to the Nürburgring, which is another racetrack that has phenomenal racing action.
Do you think we should start interviewing the top 3 of the race, Rob?
Well, we actually have only one of our top 3 drivers ready to do an interview, and that is going to be Eli Cannon in the number 19 machine. He ended up finishing 3rd on the podium. We'll see if we can't get him up in the booth here. Eli Cannon, Robin Stathis up in the booth. You got us, bud?
Yeah, we can come up.
Excellent, well, Eli, congratulations. P3 on the opening race of the Formula 2 Championship, brought to you by Butt Kicker for the iFormula League. It was a hectic race, a very challenging race. Tell us your thoughts. Can you hear us, Eli?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Sorry.
It was a very, very exciting race. Tell us your thoughts about it.
Yeah. So after the first lap there in the safety car, it was just about trying to maintain tires and run as long as we could. We talked about an undercut and kind of ruled it out, and so went long instead, and ended up making a lot of time up on the folks that had pitted already, and that kind of allowed us to come back in at that third place position and kind of really maintain the race there. Had some close calls with Lewis and we were definitely racing each other, so it was a fun time. Yeah, just great times.
Rob?
Yeah, Eli, you really did put on a show there. You seemed like you didn't really make too many mistakes. You kind of just ran your rhythm and stayed there. There was a point at the race where you were running second? Was there a point that you decided I gotta go, or were you more trying to conserve just to see what everybody else was doing?
Yeah, I was really trying to conserve and not push super hard towards that podium, but just really trying to maintain and make sure I was running a clean race as much as possible. Just trying to stay on the track, man, and really honestly finish the race, and keep that at least third place, second place for points, really.
Well, you did
Oh,
a fantastic job with it. Uh, Taking home P3, it definitely starts you off on a good foot with the Drivers' Championship, but you actually had your teammate out there for most of the race actually running fairly close with you. Are you guys like getting ready to do team order stuff, or are you actually more running to where you just got your fast guy and that's who's out front?
At this point, we're kind of making sure our fast guy is out front, but I think running close like that gives us options, especially on pit strategy and such. So it does give us a lot more opportunity to make some moves where we need to and run long where we need to too. And I think both of us had really good luck with our tires lasting a long time today, and we came in a little bit more fueled up too, to where we were able to run longer into the race, and that just allowed us to really hold those positions and to work really well together to kind of break apart teams and just make sure that we were running a good race and really being competitive.
well, Eli, thank you very, very much for this interview. Congratulations on your performance tonight. Now on to the Nürburgring for another one. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The
Now
only
we're
car
gonna.
we had to be able to interview there was our third
I
place
don't.
driver.
I don't think so, Rob. I believe we have Chris Byram with us.
Look who just popped into the broadcast booth. Chris Byram,
Hello,
your
gentlemen.
second place finisher.
Chris, can you hear us?
Yep, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Fantastic.
Crazy race, Chris. Crazy race from the start until the last lap. I believe you lived everything tonight.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't really know what happened at the start. Like literally, the safety car came out straight away. So yeah, just thought, hang on. Thought I'd go a little bit early on the when the safety car went in. And then unfortunately, Lou and I came together. He did apologise. He pulled over, so it is what it is. I think I thought he'd brake late, but he didn't brake hard enough. He'd said. So luckily, I didn't actually get that much damage. I didn't come into the pit straight away. Thought I'd stay out, see what see what the car was like, and it was pretty good. So managed to get some few spots back, and then fighting with Jacob, he lost it coming out of the chicane at turn one, and just unfortunately clipped my rear wheel, which sent me backwards. So yeah, tough race to come from the back, but I think I benefited from people just coming together at the front, and I just noticed my race pace was pretty good once I'd got my first pit out the way and fresh tyres on and low fuel, the car started coming to me. So I think another lap, I might have been able to take it to Don, but congratulations to Don taking his first win, well earned, and on Eli as well for coming in third.
How different is the Formula 2 car compared to the Formula 3 car?
It's quite different actually. I mean, last time I drove it was in January and I think I got used to it. The biggest difference is the power and the way the power is delivered. You can really, really easily spin up the rear tyres, and also as well, if you start spinning them up, then you can lose rear tyre grip. And also, it doesn't really like curbs as well as the F3. The F3 you can sort of throw it around and ride curbs quite a bit. I feel like the setup I was running tonight, it was quite sensitive. So luckily for me, I got all my crashes and spins out of the way in practice, and I had a relatively drama-free race when I was sort of on my own with a few mistakes. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
Rob, the next one is on you.
Yeah, it was really good to watch this race. Now you were running fourth. Were you really pushing, trying to catch that top podium, or did you really push the moment you saw the two guys just kind of mess up there in turns 1 and 2 and just kind of open the door for you to just take it?
I was pushing all the way. I'd noticed when I was behind Alex Guknet, I was lapping in the 37s, low 37s, and I was sort of 7/10 to a second faster. So I knew I had Alex, and then he made his mistake. And then the gap was coming down to, was it Eli in front of me in third, I think, yeah. And again, I noticed that I was sort of 5/10 up. I think it would have been a push had they kept their pace. I think they might have been slowing each other down as well, and second and third were sort of battling away. So I just thought, I've just got to go for it just in case anything happens, you know what I mean? So at no point was I backing off, and at the end as well, I think I got my fastest lap on my last lap of 37.6. So I was pushing all the way to the end because I thought I could get done as well if Peter made a mistake. I even popped in my Discord and said that he was making a mistake and I was lapping a second faster. So I just thought, I'll just get the hammer down and do what I can. So happy to recover to second and happy to get the fastest, the extra point for the fastest lap. Definitely won't get the extra point for the incidents, but yeah, good start to the season. Hopefully I can get a win at some of the up and coming tracks.
Well, congratulations on overcoming what seemed like odds that you just weren't going to be able to get past, and finishing in second place, taking home some much-needed points for the championship points race. We look forward to seeing what you can do next week when we go to the Nürburgring. And you got any idea what Nürburgring is going to be like with these F2 cars?
Curbs again are going to be an issue. They're quite raised at Nürburgring, so I think you might see a lot of issues going into the chicanes and then just exiting from the corners because it's quite sort of stoppy start track, isn't it? I like Nürburgring. I go well there, so hopefully again I can get on the podium and maybe get another pole and look for that win that's eluding me. So looking forward to it.
Chris, thank you very, very much. Congratulations again on the result. Unfortunately, we won't have Don with us. He had to do something ASAP, so he might be able to talk to us next time around. We need to congratulate him also on his first win of the season for the Formula 2 Championship of the IFL, brought to you by Bot.
Yeah, it was a great race to be able to sit and watch. It was awesome to be able to call it with you. And next week we go to Nürburgring for the F2 division. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow afternoon, 3:45, The iFormula League Formula 3 drivers take to Monza for their inaugural start for Season 2. Until next time, I'm Rob Slider. We will see you next time.